got a lot of requests for a video covering mobility, so it's exactly what we're going to cover today. A thing you got to remember about mobility is there's some joints that need to be very mobile and some joints that need to just stabilize. Some of the mobility joints are going to be the shoulder, it's going to be the hips, the ankle, the thoracic spine. The stability joints are going to be the elbow, the knee, the lumbar spine. And what you got to remember as well is a lot of times if the joints that are supposed to be mobile aren't, the stability joints are going to overcompensate and possibly get injury. So you want to perform these exercises to keep those joints mobile so that way you prevent injury in the future. So these exercises, what you want to do is perform them around 5 to 10 minutes immediately before your actual workout. That way you keep those joints mobile, you keep that range of motion high, and you also lessen the chance of injury. So when you're performing those squats, deadlift, bench press, overhead press, you're going to feel strong and ready to go. And I hope you're ready to go because we're about to get started. Mobility style. So we're starting off with lower body mobility exercises, and first on the list is going to be the lateral lunge. So what you want to do is get wider than shoulder stance, actually pretty wide. The wider you get, the easier it's going to be. A lot of mistake is people start too narrow and they actually don't get the full benefit of this mobility exercise. So start nice and wide. You want to keep your feet straight, and it's going to work on hip mobility, ankle mobility, and it's also going to work on stabilization of the knee joint as well. So you're going to be pulling into one side, bending at the knee, putting the pressure laterally, keeping this leg straight, and then you're going to come up and go directly into the next side, just like so. What you don't want is as soon as you start squatting down to have that foot externally rotate outward, because that's going to be compensation for the movement and is not necessarily going to be working on the mobility of the hips and ankle. So you're going to put one to the side, bring down to the next. You're going to only do one set of 20 reps, 10 reps each side. I'm a maniac. Ugh. Oh. Act like you're a fucking ninja, it helps. Ninja kicks. Ugh. Ugh. All right, that's enough. We've had enough fun. Next on the list for lower body mobility is going to be the supine bridge or glute bridge. So what you want to do is get on the ground, on your back, and you're going to pull those ankles inwards, and you're going to have your feet just about shoulder width. You're going to be supporting yourself on your upper back and also the back of your head. Move my hat around here. And what you're going to be doing is just pushing up through your hips and get a nice squeeze in the glutes and also the core. Some people might not say this is necessarily a mobility exercise per se, but it's really going to work on the stabilization from the core and also activating the glutes, slight mobility in the hip joint, and it's going to get you warmed up, especially if you're doing things like the squats, because that's a lot of glute work when you're going to go and do those deep squats. And what you want to do is perform one set of 10 reps and you're all done. Easy. Exercise number 3 is going to be the leg swing. So what you want to do is either find a wall or something like this where you can grab onto and support yourself. And this exercise is really going to work on the mobility of the hip joint and also an ankle joint. So what you're going to do, put pressure on one leg just like so and let the other one free to swing. And we're just going to kick from the side to side, almost like a pendulum in a way. We'll be doing 10. So there's 1 and 10. And then you can go right into forward kicks, backward kicks, where you're gonna be up, back. And you're doing 10 reps as well. So it's just getting that hip joint warmed up and also slightly activating the hip flexors to get them fired up and ready to go. A lot of times you're going to be using this before deadlifts or squat, a lot of that lower body exercises. And then you're going to do the next leg, 10 reps as well, and it's just going to be one set on each leg. Next on the list is going to be the band walks. These are really going to fire those glute needs. It's going to have stabilization in the knee joint. It's going to get you ready for those big lifts. So what you want to do is grab a band. You're going to bring your feet about shoulder width apart. Now you can either just hold it here, about shoulder width, or you can cross them just like so to add a little bit more tension, especially if you're a little bit more advanced. What you want to do too is slightly bend the knees so that way your muscles are contracted and you're going to take nice slow steps in either direction. So this one we're going to start right, small walks, firing those up in a slight squat stance, bring it to one side and then immediately go on to the next side. And we're going to be doing one set of 10 steps each way. Obviously, as you can tell, I can't quite get 10 steps each way in the small gym. So what you do is just go back and forth until you complete the full amount of reps. And you start feeling that burn real quick on these bad boys. Yeah, we're done with that. Now, a joint that's usually neglected in any kind of mobility work is going to be the ankle joint. It's a joint that really stabilizes you and should be mobile enough because your entire body weight is always going to be on it throughout the day as you're walking. Anywhere from athletes spraining their ankle to women being in high heels all day long or just going up and down stairs. I mean, you name it, that ankle needs to support you and be mobile enough to prevent injury. So what you want to do with this, it's going to be a nice mobile exercise, and you're going to be placing your hands on the wall. You're going to push your one foot out in front of you, about a foot distance away from the wall. And this heel should never pick up off the ground. And you're going to be squatting towards the wall, your knee bringing towards the wall. And what you want to do is almost touch the wall with your knee. And as you get more mobile, of course, you're going to be able to get closer and closer to that wall to really promote that mobility in that ankle joint. And you're gonna be doing one set, 10 reps each side. Switch to the next one. Bring it forward nice and slow, get the full stretch. Now just start feeling that in that ankle joint as you progress through the repetitions. So don't neglect that ankle joint because it's very essential to any kind of buff dude mobility workout plan. Insurance you can have is taking care of that shoulder joint and making sure it's mobile and also stabilized by those muscles.